Hello and welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rossa. So I recently did something about Greg DePalma, as I did a couple of years ago, and I thought of a few things. And when I get to Butner, by the way, I'm already designated, but when I get there, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of more memories of Greg DePalma once I get there, because I'm starting to remember things now. But here's the deal: Greg DePalma, former captain of the Gambino Capo, whatever you guys call him, of the Gambino family. Just a guy who just loved everything about being in the mafia and just braggadocious about it, and just like the epitome of mobster. I was at Butner with in 2007. I was introduced to him through a guy named Jack Menino, who had, I think Jack had anal cancer or whatever, rectal cancer at the time. But anyway, I was introduced to Greg, and the common bond between us in the beginning was drugs. Greg was on Percocets. He got Percocets 5 times a day, and it's every 4 hours, Percocet 10s, and every afternoon he got 60 milligram of morphine. He was an elderly man, close to 80, sickly, heart failure, diabetes. I mean, there's a list of ailments. He was mostly in a wheelchair, although he could walk. He had the room when everything happened, all things mafia in the hospital happened in Greg's room. All the sit downs and the sit downs or lay downs or handicaps, whatever, they were in Greg's room. Greg had he had like the social spot. He had one of the corner rooms, which is a bigger, by the way, and he had a single cell by himself. So anyway, at the time, I was the cigarette man. I didn't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I got them and I sold them, but I didn't sell them for money. I traded them for pills because I was strung out on pills in the hospital at the time, which I will not be doing when I go back this time. But so Greg, although for sure an opiate addict, and let me say this, I don't say that to demean Greg whatsoever. We talked openly and at length about his drug usage, and that I'm talking about prescription drugs. He doctor shopped. Vicodin and Percocets were his favorite. He knew all about the different effects of he knew morphine was a body high rather than a head high. People who have known opiates know what I'm talking about. So he was but he was more hooked on nicotine first, okay? But he had to have the morphine in the afternoon, and at least he wanted 2 different ones. So he wanted to give up 3 cups, so 6 pills a day, but he would give up 8. Cigarettes were expensive. I forgot what they were, by the way. I forgot what I want to say I was charging $20 a cigarette back then. I forgot how much I was charging for cups, but anyway. So here's what happens. In the morning, on his, the 6 o'clock pill call, I think it was. No, it was 6 times a day. 6 times every 4 hours. That's 4 times 6 is 24. So 6 times a day. He got it every 4 hours. So in the morning at the 6 a.m. or the 8 a.m. pill call, that's when I would actually push him and bring him. They would get the cup. They're supposed to watch him take it. He had that down. He'd cup it. And then I'd push him, and then I'd give him the cigarettes, whatever cigarette, and then he would owe me, whatever throughout the day, whatever the deal was. Well, one day he got caught by a nurse. I'm going to go to Butner. By the nurse whose name started with an M. A very, 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 very pretty lady. She'd been there for a while. I think she was married to staff. There were rumors. That's why I didn't want to say the name, because there was rumors like that she was messing with an inmate. Anybody that's decent looking and a female, is going to be rumored to be messing with an inmate. Although I will say there was about 7 or 8 of them that were by the time I was there. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know about this one. But I bring it up because it goes in context with the story. So Greg gets caught by this nurse hoarding his medication, okay? They immediately cut him off. Now, this is a guy who had been on opiates for a long time, and I'm talking about the morphine pill, too. So when they did, so it takes about 2 days, he was in absolute agony, okay, because he'd been on opiates prior to even coming to jail. I don't know if you guys seen the whole thing in the mall. I think it was in the mall, or there's 60 Minutes did something with that had him on it. He was on opiates all through that. And when I say opiates, prescription pills. So he'd been on them a long time, and all of a sudden, they pulled the plug at him. Pulled the plug. I think they gave him, I forgot the medicine that makes people feel better. Ativan? Is it Ativan? Anyway, but this, because he was a diabetic, he also had like water retention in his legs and his skin bust, and he had to have his legs wrapped every day. So when he had his legs wrapped, the nurse who did it most of the time was the nurse that taught him. Well, he was a big guy, really, really, really overweight. He's just a big guy. He was a big guy in general, but because he couldn't walk around so much, and he didn't. So they had the handicap shower, but he wasn't big on showering everything. Okay, and I'm not saying he smelled. It's not like he did, but he was older, and he just was resigned to the fact he was going to die, and he was a mean person. Sometimes if he didn't like somebody, he would cuss them all day long, and to this lady, he cussed regularly for taking them off his pills. And he threw in her face that he heard that she was screwing, and then the Italian racial name for a black man. So you guys know what I'm saying. But one of the things was, he'd tell her to her face this. Oh my God, he was just, you no good. I laughed because I was thinking about it, but she was professional. But one of the things was, I remember one day, maybe it was like the third day he didn't shower or something, and he said he had a shower, and he goes, no, I'm not going to shower because I want my balls and my ass to stink, because I want that bitch when she when she had to wrap his legs, because like she's literally down in his crotch area when she's doing it. And then he stopped and paused, goes, nah, maybe I should, because all these women, they like sweaty, stinky balls and ass. Oh, I woke up like I was falling asleep the other night thinking about it and laughing. Just by the way, if anybody, and I know there's going to be people who listen to this that know Greg DePalma, and they can hear him saying that. He had a mouth on him. Boy, that guy had a mouth on him. To make a sailor blush. But he hated that nurse for pulling him off the pills, and he did get them back. And in turn, I got them back. And he got to smoke more cigarettes. He begged the doctor. He got an off-duty. So the main doctor, they have somebody that fills in on the weekends, and he made his pitch to the weekend doctor, and that's how he got him back. They put him back on him. And he lived happily ever after until he died there of congestive heart failure. Just wanted to throw the little Greg DePalma piece out again, and there's going to be more. I made a note. There was another one that I had for a different segment. Anyway, take care. Please support this channel by looking at the merchandise section. Going to the merchandise section, checking out and buying something, even if it's a magnet. You can. The membership, I would like people to buy memberships, but I really don't know what the point would be right now, to be honest. Just kind of saying. Otherwise, take care. Thanks for support. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.